Guys, how are you? I've been away for a while, and I've kind of just been learning so many things from so many amazing coaches out there. There are so many theories that I've never really considered, and it's been such an honor to talk to some of these people who have PhDs, masters, and they are so incredibly amazing in what they do and what they devote their time to. And this is something that I found an approach called game-based learning, which I'm super into, and I'm trying to figure it out. And this is kind of my attempt at my first kind of session in showing you what this theory is. All right, so what I've done is I've created circles, and these circles can be, I have little hexagons that I use, but they can be anything, any shape, doesn't really matter. And just it needs to be a place where cones can fit inside. And each player, and you can have as many number of players as you want, will get their own color cones. Okay, so even though I just have one cone, they're going to get maybe 5 or 6, depending on how many circles you put down, depending on the number of players you have. You can also have them in teams and so on. So the goal of the game is very simple. The players are going to dribble to a circle. Okay, so just like this. And once they do, they can put in their cone just like that. Very simple. Once they do that, they will have more cones, obviously, so they can go and continue to do that. Okay, and you do that for 2 minutes. And the way you win is if your cone at the end of whatever time you set is alone in that circle. So for example, let's say we've gone 2 minutes and we have a field that looks like this. Let's do that. All right, so let's say we have something like this. All right, so if you count the total number of cones that are red, there is 2 points here. Okay, blue does not get a point there, or yellow doesn't get a point there. Same thing over here. Blue would get a point there, orange and orange. Okay, so at the end of the 2 minutes, that's kind of what you're looking for. Now, when the players run out of cones, okay, because for 2 minutes they're not necessarily going to have that, they can now, so let's say we'll put this blue over here, they can now go to another circle, pick up any cone they want. So let's say he picks up the yellow. Whoops. Let's do that. Okay, so let's say this player over here picks up the yellow cone, right? And he's the blue team, right? Originally. So now he would get the point, and then he could go and put that, let's say, over here, right? So there's a lot of thinking involved, and it's just a fantastic environment. Now, I learned this theory kind of when I heard in a podcast called The Talent Equation. And Amy Price, who lectures at St. Mary's University, was really talking about this idea and kind of a video game-based learning system. And she talks about some ways to make this even more creative, which I love. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to bring in mannequins, but I want you to imagine that this mannequin is just a penny. All right, so we'll have one color penny here, and what could happen is when this player dribbles and picks up the penny, okay, if they have the penny, all their points are worth 2. Okay, so this is really cool because you're not forcing them to get this kind of special advantage, but you're allowing them to figure out if that's something that they want to do right now. So if they pick up this so-called penny, right, then they can have double the points. And you can kind of create this new environment now, right, where maybe let's say 2 players have pennies, right? So next time at the next game, well, maybe the players, the first thing that they do is they go for that penny, right? So, and then once kind of they start getting that, then maybe you can say, if that player now has no cones, another player can tag them and they get the penny. So there are so many amazing types of ways to configure this. Okay, so that's kind of one thing. Now, another thing you could do as well is you can create teams, right? So let's say I want to work on passing today, okay? And now the goal still remains the same. So they still win when they get their cone there. But what you're doing is you can say the player who puts the cone down, okay, must have the ball. All right. So let's say I have a player over here and I have a player over here on the blue team. Okay. And that player goes in and they put in a cone over here, just like that. And then let's say this player has a cone and he's over here. So instead of forcing the players to say, keep your head up, you got to call out for that ball, what's naturally going to happen is this player is going to call for the ball because they want it. They see that they need it to put that ball right there. And again, this is a fantastic way to get our players to do these things, but make it, one, fun, and two, allow for that creativity. Just allow them to be creative and find new ways. All right, so that's it for today. Hope you liked it. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think about this game-based learning. Check out Amy Price and check out this amazing podcast called The Talent Equation. It's just incredible, the types of discussions there. Some great people who work and are involved in that podcast. All right, so thanks, guys. That's it for me.